Well, here we go. It's game number 2 of the day in the Betty Chancellor Classic, and it's a good one. Two teams with just a single loss as Gonzaga battles number 20 Louisville. And with everybody, we say hello courtside. My name is Garrett Jones, along the former head coach at Minnesota and Texas Tech, Marlene Stallings. You could argue, Coach, that these are the two most talented teams in this tournament.
Well, I'm hyped for this one, Garrett. I know you are too. We have the high-scoring octane Gonzaga Bulldogs in the house. They put up 102 points in one of their games, and they had 41 points at the half against Alabama, a team that's only allowing 42 points per game against their opponents. As we take a look at our star players, Yvonne Ejim for Gonzaga was brilliant yesterday. Her third game this year, scoring 20 or more. Yeah, she was just excellent again yesterday. 23 points, 8 rebounds. She's so versatile. I love what she can do inside and out. She can face up, get to the basket, and shoot from the outside. And for Louisville on the other side, keep an eye on the low post as well with Olivia Cochran, one of the best bigs in the nation. Well, you talk about a contrast in styles. Louisville likes to make you feel them when they defend. And I tell you what, if I'm Coach Walls in Louisville, I want Gonzaga to feel me the moment the ref throws this ball in the air. I'm making contact with somebody, and we're going to make them feel us. They've got to get up in Gonzaga's space. They've got to be great one-on-one defensively. You can't help a lot off of Gonzaga. They have 5 players averaging double figures. A look at Lisa Fortier, her 10th season, just a ridiculous winning percentage. She's top 5 in the NCAA in her time at the Dog Pound. Yes, you know, Kelly Graves got the Gonzaga program going, and there's not been any letdown since she's taken over there. Louisville on the other side, led by a man who has become synonymous with this program. Jeff Wall, 17 seasons. They had not made the Sweet 16 prior to his arrival. They made it 12 times since. Yes, and the only coach and program to make 5 consecutive Elite Eights. 2 fantastic coaches going head-to-head here early in the season. This feels like a March game to me. No doubt about it. These two met up once last year in the Bahamas. It was a thrilling game. Gonzaga pulled away late for an overtime win. But this series tied at 2, so a lot of the line, as Coach mentioned. Yes, 2 teams that are familiar with one another. Gonzaga, in particular, start 4 graduates and 1 senior, so they're familiar with how and what Louisville likes to do. Louisville's added a lot of kids out of the portal, so some new faces for them. Trophy on the line in the Betty Chancellor Classic. If Gonzaga wins this game, they take it outright. Louisville needs to win by more than 8 points for a tiebreaker, and the Cards could take home the trophy. It certainly will not be easy. Nina Ricards gets the start today for Louisville, and she takes it in for the first 2 points of the game. I like Coach Walls in Louisville challenging the foot speed of Gonzaga right off the bat. Unbelievable start for the Cardinals. It's 4-0 off the steal in the inbounds. Gonzaga has been the team of this tournament. They won 102-59 over Liberty and then stomped Alabama by double digits yesterday. They have not looked this flat at any point throughout the tournament. That's out of bounds. Well, like we said, Louisville's got to be in attack mode. You know, you could argue that Gonzaga won that Alabama game in the first half, putting up 41 points yesterday, and Louisville's very well aware of that. They know they've got to be great defensively to start this game and not let Gonzaga get rolling. Kaylin Trong will throw it in. It's a great atmosphere in favor of Gonzaga as Ejim lays it in. How about that pass from Trong? She puts the ball in the right spot for her teammates often. Talk about the contingency of fans here supporting Gonzaga. You might wonder why. Well, it's the Trong sisters, Kaylee and Kaylin. See them providing defense on the right side of your screen. Twin sisters out of Jersey Village High School returning home to play this weekend. Louisville continues its hot start. Sydney Taylor drills it from distance. Again, nice for Louisville to see that ball go through the net early. They struggled a little bit shooting in the first couple of games from outside. Awesome to get the early bucket there. This is Kaylee Trong. Ejim has a great mid-range jumper. Again, coming off a double-double yesterday, she can do that. She can take you outside, take you down low, just extremely versatile. Olivia Cochran. Ricards hits. Louisville unconscious out of the gates. I feel like Nina's been really steady for Louisville in this tournament. They've been able to count on her energy, effort, and enthusiasm, and her ability to score throughout the tournament.
Double-double for Louisville on Friday in the narrow loss to Alabama. Cardinals fell 78-73. A triple for Gonzaga and a great response as Eliza Hollingsworth drills it.
You know, I was interested to see what Louisville's going to do. Zag set a lot of ball screens, and Louisville likes to hedge, sometimes trap, and you have to have really quick rotations when you're playing Gonzaga. They only need a half second, and at all 5 positions, they can score from the outside.
It's the first field goal missed of the day for Louisville. They started 4 out of 4. This is Kaylee Trong giving it up. Over to her sister, Kaylin. Dominant players at the high school level right here in the Lone Star State. And an early foul. Our officials today, Scott Yarbrough, Ashley Glotz, and Courtney Robinson. Houston-based crew. Done some SEC games, done some Southland Conference games. Foul number 2 on the Cardinals. Kaylin Trong. Bumped. And Nyla Harris not pleased with the call.
A couple back-to-back whistles Coach Walls isn't going to like, but I do really like how Louisville, we said they need to make Gonzaga feel them, well, literally here the last couple possessions, but they definitely need to keep that physicality up. Nothing easy.
A travel. Eliza Hollingsworth can't believe it.
I really like the Louisville intensity here to start this game. They came ready to play today.
Hollingsworth was arguing that Rickards maybe tapped her from behind. Didn't really get her time to get set. 22 points, a career high for her on Friday over Liberty. Offensive foul, and is coming back with the Zags. That's already number 2 on Olivia Cochran.
Well, that's a tough one, Garrett. You know, game 1, she went out early in foul trouble, only played about 20 minutes against Alabama in that upset win Alabama had over the Cards. And my goodness, early foul trouble here again today in a big game for the Cardinal.
Louisville will turn to the freshman, Elif Istanbuloglu. I feel like she has a great ceiling out of Istanbul in Turkey. Played for Fenerbahce.
He has played on the national team. Her ceiling is really high. She's a versatile player for Coach Walls.
Kiki Jefferson with the swipe right to the 10. Louisville 5 out of 6 to start on field goals.
Nice to see Jefferson get going early. Player of the year last year out in the Sun Belt.
Eliza Hollingsworth all the way from Melbourne, Australia. Gonzaga won by 43 points on Friday, led by as many as 24 in the first half against Alabama yesterday. And a travel call. Take one more look at this. Oh, beg your pardon, looks like it's been called a common foul, so it will stay with Gonzaga.
Yeah, the refs are calling this tight early. Louisville's going to have to adjust.
14th foul on the Cardinals. On Ejim. Trong.
Great find.
Bring it up. Kaylin Trong to much fanfare.
Great find by Ejim. Way to knock it down by the Trong twin.
Kaylin, top 11 in the country in 3-pointers taken. She's also a very good table setter for her teammates. Top 20 in the country in assists. Kaylin, kind of an all-around player. They have different games, but they work together so well.
Absolutely. You know, what a luxury to have even at times where they both start, but you can also sub a Trong for a Trong, and you don't have much let up at all.
Louisville answers. It's a 4-point game. Allie Stokes with her first touch. Von Ejim off of 23 points yesterday. Fouled on the way in.
Look at that by Ejim. She is so quick. Great rip and go. She's as quick as anybody on the floor with her first step. When she turns it on, there's another gear there.
Foul number 2 on Nyla Harris. So the low post of Louisville in early foul trouble. See Lisa Fortier looking on there. Been just a brilliant run under her tutelage at Gonzaga. They have missed the NCAA tournament just one time in the past 15 years.
Yes, 14 of the last 15. They're a fixture in March.
Istanbulolu across the horn for Taylor. Sydney Taylor, an offensive foul.
Oh my, the foul's really stacking up here for Louisville.
I'm taking one more look at this moving screen.
Clearly a moving screen. Good call by the officials.
Istanbulolu never got set. Gonzaga already in the bonus. Louisville with 5 fouls. This opening period, we haven't even hit our first media timeout. Strong bumped by Ricards, and there's another one.
Yeah, Louisville really needs to adjust here. I mean, the refs have consistently called that from the beginning. They're really going to have to adjust. You know, the rule is, in point of emphasis, you get that one hot stove touch, and then you've got to have hands off. Louisville continues to bump him and ride him on penetration.
Okay, Lynn Trong to the line. Unbelievable performance for her last year distributing the ball. Had the single season approach to the season single record, I should say, with 7th most program assists last year. all. Louisville trying to respond. They have been great from the field thus far. Taylor. Ricards goes after it. And a jump ball will give it back to Gonzaga. That'll stop the clock with 4:40 in the first. We've had a great start to this game. Both teams shooting over 50% as we step aside. 13-all for the Merrill Center. Well, so much Gonzaga support here in the Merrill Center. And Katie, thanks to the Trong sisters who played their high school basketball at Jersey Village, right up the road, less than 30 minutes away. They've had a lot of fun this weekend. Gonzaga has certainly risen to the occasion. Louisville with its hands full here early, Coach. They've been scorching from the field 6 out of 8 to start. But already 3 players for the Cardinals with 2 or more fouls in this game.
Yes, one of their best offensive starts of the tournament, but my goodness, the defensive foul trouble could be key here. They've already got 3 players with 2 fouls.
Cardinals trying to reel it in. And Elliot Love draws the whistle. Kaylee Trong picks up her first foul. That's the first whistle on Gonzaga today.
First foul call for Gonzaga. I like Louisville's mentality that they came out with. You've got to be physical with Gonzaga. However, they've got to adjust to the foul calls here.
Iowa Harris with 2. Olivia Cochran with a pair of fouls as well. And Ricards, the only other player with 2 personal. Gonzaga looking for the lead. Trong denied. Louisville looking to answer. They leave it behind. Love gets it to go. Oh, you love the senior transfer out of Georgia Tech. Intra-conference pickup for Coach Jeff Walls. They hit the portal pretty hard. There's a lot of great additions to this roster. James Madison transfer, Kiki Jefferson, Nina Ricards coming over from Florida.
Yeah, so we talked to Coach Walls. He talked about it's just taking time for all those portal kids to come together and really gel. And he's obviously known for bringing teams along and getting them ready for March. So really early on the season here for Louisville as they're learning and figuring out one another. He said something as simple as just where to deliver a pass to a teammate is something that they're spending a lot of time on with all these new faces.
Gonzaga with the bonus. Kaylee Trong.
Gonzaga, on the other hand, starting 4 graduates and 1 true senior, a veteran group. They've played together for a long time. They're not heavy in the portal.
They've added some talent from Utah, a couple of former Utes on this roster. Naya Ojukwu hasn't been playing much this season, but Brianna Maxwell is a player that you will see a lot today. She's not on the floor right now for Gonzaga. And a technical called on Jeff Walls.
Well, he's not happy here in the early going, and you know, I can't blame him. They're getting called for a lot of fouls here. The foul count really unbalanced, but they're playing a little bit different than Zags. But he's just going to try to get in the ref's ear here and try to get it a little more balanced.
Has to be frustrating for Coach, because this team has come out and put together a great response after 2 tough games early in this tournament. Yet they've been struggling on the defensive end, picking up foul after foul.
Yeah, and he wants his team to know he has their back. But they're really going to have to adjust. They're going to have to keep the hands off. The refs have consistently called it. They've not wavered. I think it's on Louisville here to make a little bit of an adjustment with the contact. Play clean, keep their hands off.
Coach Walls approaching 500 career wins. There's one more look at the Tech. Now you can see a short fuse there for Scott Yarbrough. Walls has been bending his ear all the way through here in the first. 9 fouls called on Louisville to 1 for Gonzaga. It's just Callie Stokes turning it over. Taylor on the break. Jada Curry can't get it to roll. Offensive rebound for the California transfer. Another addition to this lineup. Taylor, the transfer from UMass. Gonzaga looking to build its lead. Stokes lost the handle. And a fortuitous bounce for the Zags as that goes off with Taylor in Louisville. Brianna Maxwell, you see on your screen, coming back into the game. Mark Hybens and Callie Stokes will check out. Under 3 left to play in the opening frame. Jada Curry called for the whistle.
They are going to keep calling that. I think Coach Walls needs to gather his team here, maybe at the end of the period, and just tell them they're not going to be able to keep bumping. I mean, right, wrong, or indifferent. I mean, what a tough start here for Louisville with the fouls, but they're going to have to just not make that contact.
That was a great shot from our crew. Coach Walls can just laugh right now. Kaylin Trong at the free throw line. Very pure shooter and a nice start for her. Haley Trong really carried the load on Friday with a career high 25 points off 8 of 9 shooting. But Kaylin has certainly stepped up in spots and been the leader for this Gonzaga. 3-point game. Jefferson swatted away and a jump ball call. It'll stay with the Cardinals. One more look at Kiki Jefferson going up. Stambololu plays it from beyond the 3-point line. And a whistle on Gonzaga.
Well, you hear the Louisville faithful get really loud. They're happy to see a foul finally called on Gonzaga.
Brianna Hollingsworth. Liza, I should say, called for the foul. Into Curry, and she's fouled. Kaylin Trong. And Gonzaga's starting to get a little frustrated.
Well, clearly a foul there on Strong. Can't bump into the offensive player there. She's receiving the ball. Good call by the official.
Time running out on Louisville to throw it in. Beautiful reverse for Nyla Harris. back down to 1. Cardinals won by 9 yesterday over Liberty. That was a game where they trailed by 10 in the first half. Flames went 0-3 in this tournament. Maxwell. Down to Curry. And Louisville can go back on top. Kiki Jefferson, formerly a 2-time Sun Belt Player of the Year. Istanbuloglu travel. Already the 10th combined turnover that we've seen between these two in this first quarter.
Well, both teams very intense defensively, forcing the other into turnovers. They'll settle in as we go, but I love the intensity of this game thus far.
Gonzaga has not scored in almost 4.5 minutes, as you see on your screen. Minute and a half left before the second. Esther Little out of Ipswich, England. Off down to 2. Bodies hit the floor. We have another jump ball. And it'll stay with Gonzaga. Jeff Waltz arguing that Jefferson didn't have the opportunity to possess that basketball. And upon review, we do have a shot clock violation. Going to come back with the Cardinals. Ashley Gloss, our official there, making that call. And Coach Waltz continuing to plead his case. He has built quite a program here at Louisville. All-time winningest coach in this program's storied history.
Louisville running a set play here.
Final minute. Istanbuloglu. A freshman maybe taking an ill-advised shot there, and Gonzaga with a nice defensive stand.
Really a broken play. Coach wanted Jefferson to come off that double screen, and she rejected it. Zags make them pay on the other end.
Boy, Kay Lindstrom never hesitates. You have to get a hand in her face immediately.
You cannot give any of these Bulldogs space at the three-point line. You've got to really crowd them and run them off the three-point line for 40 minutes.
Gonzaga 2 out of 4 from deep to start. Curry. Ejim went after the rebound. This will be Gonzaga basketball. First time today we're seeing Alexia Mobley, underclassman on this roster, her 3rd year in this rotation. Took a red shirt her first season. Walsh showing some youth. It's kind of had to early on. Just now getting tuned in. 3 Louisville players picking up 2 fouls in this first quarter.
Illegal screen there by Hollingsworth.
Louisville getting a possession with 6 seconds. Plenty of time to try to get a shot off.
Screeners on both sides really need to hold their ground, not move, allow their teammate to rub off of them. Defense is just so intense and so tight. They're trying to move last minute to screen off the defender, and you can't do that.
Ricards. Nailed it.
Nice. Boy, she's played big for Louisville.
That will end an exciting first quarter. Gonzaga with just a 2-point cushion. They've gone back and forth. We've seen a slew of fouls, some good shooting. What more could you ask for here on a Sunday morning? Zags by 2 as we head to the second quarter. Start of the second quarter here at the Betty Chancellor Classic in Katy, Texas. Garrett Jones and Marlene Stallings here with you. A frustrating start to be a Louisville fan. Their team stacked up fouls, but a really nice response. And coach, after shooting so well in this first period, they find themselves down by just 2 points.
Yeah, so Louisville's scoring a lot better today. They had a couple droughts in those first 2 games with their scoring, so they have to be happy that the ball's going in the basket, but foul trouble certainly could bode to be an issue here down the stretch.
Wow, what a steal. Oh, Elia Love. Jefferson gets it to bounce home. Defense leads to offense for the Cardinals.
Well, exactly the way they like it. I really like the intensity Louisville has come out with. That's how you have to play against Gonzaga. Certainly they don't want all those fouls, but they're not letting Gonzaga get anything easy.
Louisville has forced 20 or more turnovers in 3 of its last 4 games. Ejim can't run it in. They're so active on the defensive end. Go back to Friday's game. It was a stalemate between the Crimson Tide and the Cardinals. That was a game that Alabama ultimately won by 5 points. Those are 2 very good defensive teams, and it took a while for both of those offenses to settle in. That's what Louisville wants to do.
No doubt, and yet another Louisville player picking up her 2nd foul. Love with 2 now. And Coach Walls is going to have to let some of these players play with those 2 fouls and hope they don't pick up a 3rd. And Gonzaga, on the other hand, needs to just keep attacking and going at them to try to pick up a 3rd foul. They have multiple players with 2 fouls now. 4 to be exact.
On Ejim. Let's get Gonzaga back on top. It's just Jada Curry, under 100 points away from 500 on her career. Marissa Russell. Extra pass. Love can't hit. How about the effort shown from Elia Love? A lot of the things that won't show up in the box score.
And Walls loves that. Especially with Cochran out, he needs somebody to be doing that for Louisville.
Love can't knock down the shot. Let's see Mobley grab the miss. And Gonzaga whistle. First foul of the quarter on Gonzaga. Now Stokes checks back in. Arna Maxwell on the bench for the Zags. Down to Kiki Jefferson. Transfer from James Madison. Another shot falls. Jefferson with 6 early.
Nice bucket by Jefferson. Again, Sunbelt Player of the Year last year. She's used to scoring big. 18 points a game coming from James Madison last year. And she's really trying to settle in and find her way here at Louisville. And once she does, look out, because she can score.
Kaylee Trong walks.
I think it's also going to be important that Jefferson kind of lead him here offensively while Cochran and Harris, Nina are out with foul trouble.
Louisville can go back on top. It's been almost an even split in this game. A couple lead changes, a couple times tied. Louisville led by a couple points for 5 minutes in that first quarter. Lisa Fortier not liking the way this thing's breaking for Gonzaga. She's taking her first timeout. And the Cardinals with a 2-point lead as we step aside. The Betty Chancellor Classic is brought to you by the Intruders Softball Organization, providing a competitive softball environment for young girls all over the Houston area. And by Mission Constructors, a Houston-based corporation providing construction management, design, and construction services throughout the state of Texas. Well, Jeff Walz is known for his flair. He's a very passionate head coach. You can see here laying into Curry for possibly missing a defensive assignment. We didn't see quite what he was upset about. You could just see the passion. And Louisville, much to their credit, these players respect him. They take his coaching well. There's a reason why he's been to 5 straight Elite Eights.
No question. When you come to Louisville, you know it's going to be tough, intense, and the expectations are high. Cochran talked a lot about that early in the season, being one of the leaders on their team, and how they help the newcomers and the portal kids understand that culture and philosophy. And you cannot argue with the success that Coach Walz has had. It works, and he's going to continue to be who he is, and the players respond to him.
It's a great fan base. They are nuts about basketball up in Kentucky.
Oh, they've built a tremendous fan base at Louisville at the Young Center, bring in thousands of fans every home game. They absolutely love what Coach Walz has been able to do there. And really for women's basketball, seeing such a large group of fans come out every night is really special and has helped the growth of the game.
Yeah, it's been interesting, kind of that dynamic, because the men's program has really struggled at Louisville in the past couple of seasons. And the women's team has kind of taken up the slack. They've been the team that fan base, ravenous for a winner, can get behind.
Yes, when you hear Louisville basketball, I think you think of women's basketball. I don't think you more recently think about the men's team as much. And certainly back to Denny Crum and Patino, they've had some tremendous success there on the men's side. But Jeff Wall's in a class by himself in women's basketball at Louisville.
Gonzaga facing its largest deficit of this tournament, and it looks like a charge there on Stokes.
Well, the Louisville bench is fired up. I mean, they came into this game with the right attitude, right mentality defensively, and they've rattled Gonzaga here. Gonzaga's been playing really comfortable to this point in the season, especially in this tournament. They've come out, shot big. No one's really been real physical with them or up in their space. So this is the first time they've really faced this type of defensive intensity this year. And let's not forget, Gonzaga beat Louisville, as you mentioned early on, last year in the Bahamas, and Louisville hasn't forgotten that.
They went to overtime last year. Mobley can't connect. And the Zags with an opportunity to cut it down to a possession. This is Mott Hybens. Couldn't get it to fall.
Oh, that's going to be Love's third foul, I believe.
You're right about that. They're marking it her fourth. So Love, the first player to reach 4 fouls today.
Yeah, I have it as 3. The PA guy did say 4. Regardless, foul trouble continues for Louisville.
Hybens goes to free throw. Back to a 1-possession game. All the way from Hilversum, Netherlands, to transfer from Syracuse. Great height. And this Gonzaga rotation stands at 6'3". Back to a 1-possession game, as we noted. Kicked ball. Stay with the Cardinals. Avon Scheich is into the game. Had a big 3-pointer yesterday. We talked about it a few moments ago, Coach. Lisa Fortier's team has not really been challenged as much as they are right now by this Gonzaga team. 68-58 winners yesterday over a very good Alabama team. That's the only loss this season for Christy Curry's bunch at the Crimson Tide.
Yes, that first half really stifled Alabama. Giving up 41 points and a half. Unusual for them, uncharacteristic.
Louisville's only loss coming to Alabama on Friday.
And Gonzaga goes to a zone there, a little bit of a 1-3-1. Forcing the outside miss by Louisville.
Zags can tie or take the lead. Strong with space. Nailed it. Kaylee Strong, 25 on Friday. Russell. And 1. The Gonzaga bench shocked on the call. But Louisville feeling like it finally caught a break.
Now Gonzaga wanted a charge there. You have got to get back on Louisville when the ball changes hands after a made bucket. A little bit late getting back there. Good call, right call by the official.
So Russell to the free throw line with a chance to make it a 3-point game. Offensive rebound, Kiki Jefferson. Oh, wow, what a roll.
Great job by Jefferson. You can just see her even throughout this tournament getting more and more comfortable in Coach Walls' system.
Strong. Gonzaga 2 out of 6 on 3-pointers today, and a whistle away from the basketball. Louisville starting to get some momentum. We talked about it in yesterday's game. They've had a real problem starting flat in this tournament. They really have not on this Sunday matinee. Picked up several fouls in the defensive end, but they are shooting the ball extremely well. For 60%.
Gonzaga staying in that zone, and what a way to bust the zone by hitting a three-point shot. Great bucket by Curry.
Jada Curry, big-time recruit out of the state of California. The city of Corona has made it a 7-point game. Egypt finds the touch. Egypt so big yesterday, had 17 points a couple games ago against Wyoming as well. Leading scorer for Gonzaga last night.
I don't think that talk by Coach Walls affected Curry very much at all.
Russell drills it.
She's been great for Louisville. Another big bucket. Great bucket by Harris.
Cards 4 of their last 4 from 3. I say from the field.
Tell you, Coach Walls has to be breathing a little easier. He told me a couple of days ago, we have very capable shooters, and the ball just hasn't gone through the net for us yet this year. But he said, I know it's coming. And it has come today.
Do not have a timeout on the floor. 4:13 left. Coach Walls a little confused as well. We play on. Under 4 left to play before the break. On Shank. Oh man, everything falling right now for the Cardinals. First time Gonzaga has faced a double-digit deficit in this tournament.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see how they respond, and I certainly expect them to respond. Again, a veteran group, 4 graduates, 1 true senior in their starting lineup, and there you have it.
Maxwell, a big response.
One of the best three-point shooters in the country, as you said, a transfer from Utah. They needed that bucket badly.
All West Coast Conference last year. Russell. Offensive rebound for Jefferson.
None other than Jefferson there again. She's played big for the Cardinal, especially throughout the foul trouble here.
Kiki Jefferson just picked up her 2nd offensive rebound. So nice size, a 6'1" graduate. A foul on Louisville, trying to set up a screen once again. Oh, bigger pardon is on Brianna Maxwell. Cardinals were headed back up the floor, maybe thinking that was on them.
I think they got so used to being called for the foul, they thought that one was on them, but definitely on Maxwell there. Jefferson looks as comfortable as I've seen her thus far, even this season, in Coach Walls' system. Her ceiling's really high, and she's going to continue to develop. You know, when you come from a mid-major school to a Power 5, it takes a little while to adjust to the tempo, the pace, and the physicality. And you can see that she's getting more and more comfortable as she goes along.
Really a storied player at JMU. Top 10 in that program's history in 8 different statistical categories. It's a big pickup for Coach Walls in this group. They've opened up a 9-point lead on a very feisty Gonzaga team. Egypt.
Good contest by Mobley there.
Jefferson rumbles in. Taylor. Bring it up.
Louisville on fire. I know that Coach Walls is super happy to see this. He has been waiting for this type of game and this offensive explosion. None better than to happen today.
Louisville 3 of 5 from distance in this 2nd quarter alone. 6 of their last 8 overall from the field. Sydney Taylor picks up the whistle. Gonzaga's lone loss this season came to a Washington State team that is really taking names over the past 2 years in the Pac-12. They're a top 25 program. Gonzaga made the short trip over from Spokane over to Pullman, and Coach Fortier said, we really felt like that game could have been ours, and said it was their lone blemish. Today looking a little bit out of sorts as they turn it over again. That's the 12th in the first half.
Well, again, credit Louisville's defensive intensity. We said early on you've got to make Gonzaga feel you from the tip, and Louisville's done just that. Albeit some foul trouble, but they've been able to play through it without anybody other than Love picking up that third.
Screen from Von Scheidt. Six to shoot. Curry can't get it. Mobley another offensive board. And the jump ball will keep it with Louisville. Coach, the Cardinals doing a lot of gritty things right. They're getting a ton of offensive rebounds. 4 to Gonzaga's 1.
Absolutely, just what Coach Walls wanted from his Cardinal today.
Outscoring Gonzaga 25-11 in the second quarter. Bulldogs certainly have not been poor from the field, over 50%, including 43% from outside. They're 13 of 14 at the free throw line. Struggling to take care of the basketball. All turnovers to Louisville 6. Strong with 8 to shoot. Stokes no. Did she go up and down? It's coming back with Louisville. .28 left to go in the second. As we take a look at what's coming up at the half, we'll hear from the man himself, Coach Van Chancellor. His wife Betty, the namesake of this tournament, will also have the first half highlights and stats. Sorry to bump you, Coach Stallings, but I'm sure the folks really are excited to hear what one of the best personalities in this game have to hear.
Absolutely. Happy to step aside and let the fans hear from the legendary Hall of Famer at the half.
4-time, I'm wearing his Hall of Fame jacket, as you noted earlier. 4-time WNBA champion. Fixtured in the SEC on the women's side at LSU and Ole Miss.
Yesterday he had his Olympic sweatsuit on from 2004 and won gold in Athens. He pulled it out. He said Miss Betty wanted him to wear it. Still looks great on him.
Taylor turned away. Here's Stokes. Curry applying pressure. Final 37 ticks of this first half. Mott Hybens trying to cut the lead down to single digits. Ejim gets the roll.
So dynamic. There you see her with a back to the basket, post up and finish through a little bit of contact against a taller player.
Final 13 seconds of this first half.
Louisville's going to hold for the final shot. Coach Wall's giving him a set play here. He's going to go with 4 low and let Curry create. She decides to settle for the pull-up.
One more chance for the Cards. Curry. Book it.
From deep. What a way to finish the great first half for the Louisville Cardinals.
An 11-point lead at the break. Louisville knocks down 5 triples in the first 2 periods.
Well, what a relief for Louisville to finally score big. Again, very capable scorers, just haven't been able to knock it down. But today they are on fire.
An 11-point game at the break at the Betty Chancellor Classic, and we have a real treat for you folks. We are joined by the legend himself, Hall of Fame head coach, Van Chancellor, Garrett Jones here with you. Coach, thanks so much for spending some time for us. You having fun this weekend?
Yeah, this has been a great tournament. I mean, some really great games. This might be as good a basketball tournament as I've been around in all of my 40 years of coaching, competition-wise.
You have a lot of great teams in this tournament, and I know you've done this for a couple years now, but you added on the Betty Chancellor Classic to this, the other side of the bracket. I know you had several different teams from several different conferences that had to be separated. How did these 8 teams come to be when you guys picked them out?
My buddy in this is Tom Cross. He went out and did a great job of inviting teams. We went to teams and said, we want teams that are competitive. Gonzaga playing Louisville, Louisville playing Alabama, Mississippi State playing Tulsa for the Van Chancellor bracket of this. And so you want teams that want to compete, and it's just been an exciting tournament. It's been as good a basketball as I've seen in a long, long time.
No doubt about it. You have the Betty Chancellor side of the bracket, Coach, and I know you were joking around. You two have been married for 61 years. She was not pleased when you told her that this side of the bracket was going to be named after her. Has she warmed up to it a little bit?
Very little. What happened was the NCAA rule, we couldn't have Mississippi State and Alabama in here, Clemson and Louisville from the same conference. So we had to make a decision within 5 minutes. So Tom Cross said, why don't we name it the Betty Chancellor Classic? Well, I forgot to call the lady that I've been married to a long time, but she's warmed up to it more and more. We just hadn't asked her to step out and do very much.
What does she mean to you, 61 years together?
Garrett, I've been married 61 years. Van Chancellor, there would be no Van Chancellor if it wasn't for Betty Chancellor. The finest woman, finest human being I know of anywhere, the most humble person, but loves basketball. She started in last night wanting to know what time was we leaving to come over here today. Yeah. She's loving this tournament, by the way.
Well, you're a hoops fanatic yourself, and we get to do a lot of games together, but I don't really get to ask you questions like this. You just live and breathe this game. What do you love about basketball?
I grew up in rural Mississippi. We didn't have anything, and the only way I could get out of working in the fields was to play ball. And I just fell in love with basketball. It's carried me all over the world. I got to coach the Olympics. And so basketball is just, without it, I'd be on a dirt farm in Mississippi right now. And I just developed the love of it. I've always loved it, and I enjoyed it.
Did you have a good Thanksgiving family in town here in Katy?
I got the best cook in America, Garrett. This woman is a cooking machine. We had our Thanksgiving because my family had to go Wednesday. We had everything you could have. We had just a wonderful time.
No doubt about it. And you've got the Hall of Fame jacket on today. You're part of a couple different Hall of Fames. What does that mean to you?
I don't hardly ever wear this jacket, but I didn't figure any of these players knew who Van Chancellor was. They're so young, they don't remember me at my age. So I thought my wife put my jacket out and said, "You gonna wear it?" So I got it on. So that's where we are. But I'm just so happy to be in the Hall of Fame. I never thought a boy from Nattawarrior, Mississippi, would be in the Naismith Hall of Fame. I'll tell you that right now.
And you had the Team USA jacket on yesterday too, from the 2004 Olympics.
I pulled out all the stops in this tournament, basically trying to let these young players know who I was. Maybe it worked, maybe it didn't.
Last thing for you before we let you go. You've seen basketball change quite a bit in several decades of coaching. Obviously, things are very different now with the transfer portal, NIL. The style of play has changed too. Heavy reliance on the three-pointer. What do you think the future of basketball is?
It's unbelievably great because here's why. I see more girls can step up, shoot the ball from downtown Katy, Texas, and make it unbelievable.
No doubt about it. We're going to take a look at the trophy here, Coach. We're going to let you go because I know you got to present this thing. You and Benny need to give it away here in a few minutes.
Well, and that's a heck of a trophy that Tom Cross has got up, and we're excited about giving it away. And my family's been excited about the Betty Chancellor Classic.
Thanks so much, Coach, for your time.
Thank you.
An 11-point lead for Louisville at the break. The Cards have been hot, shooting over 50% from outside. We got highlights and stats coming your way before the third quarter. Well, it's been a fun first half here at the Betty Chancellor Classic. Louisville with an 11-point lead, but Gonzaga went right back to what it does best, getting the ball to low posts. The Cards simply just had more answers on the break. You see Jefferson lay it in there for two. Coach, a very dynamic display and a bit of a tough call there for Jeff Walls picking up the technical foul. He was fired up about the early calls.
Well, how about Louisville? All kinds of foul trouble when they come out of that half with the lead. But in large part due to their scoring ability. They've had trouble, as we've mentioned a few times early here in the season, putting the ball in the basket, but not today. They're shooting 59% from the field. They've already made 5 threes. That has to feel good to the Cardinal. But really impressed how they handle that foul trouble. Love's the only one Coach Walls really left on the floor. She picks up her 4th, and we have 3 other players with 2 fouls. Nina, Cochran, and Harris sitting there with 2 fouls most of the first half.
How about the free throw shooting too for Gonzaga? 13 of 14 at the stretch, and they're out rebounding Louisville. Really one of the things that have set these two teams apart have been the turnovers. 12-7 edge there for Louisville, forcing turnovers.
Yes, and I like Louisville's defensive intensity. You have to play hard when you play against Gonzaga. You have to be intense from the jump, and I thought Louisville came out and did that, and they never let up. Certainly got into some foul trouble, but they've been able to handle it and manage it. Zags did take advantage at the free throw line, 13 out of 14, but only getting off 8 threes and making 3 of them. Really low for Gonzaga. They take 24 a game, and they've just not been open to get those shots off. Credit to Louisville's defense.
Those first half stats brought to you by Moriarty Construction. As you see the Twin Ballers fans there, the Trong sisters trying to will Gonzaga back into this game in the second half. They got some great fan support here. The Houston kids, big part of why Gonzaga's at this tournament this weekend is for them to get back home. Their final season. Kaylin Trong slows it down. Brenna Maxwell. Can't hit from the mid-range. Just been a lid on the bucket for Gonzaga in this game overall.
Well, another example there, she was really sped up on that shot, whereas the previous 2 games in this tournament, she's been very comfortable catching and taking that shot off the dribble, but not today. Louisville really speeds you up.
Maxwell cleans the glass. Louisville's lone loss coming in this tournament on Friday to a very good Alabama team that has just 1 loss in its own right. Gonzaga trying to sweep through this tournament 3-0. They would take the trophy that's on the line. Maxwell connects.
Big shot by Maxwell, heavily contested. Still able to knock it down.
48% from 3 last year. Just some ridiculous numbers as Gonzaga again rolled to a WCC title.
Yeah, she's top 3 in the nation in 3-point shooting.
Also among the NCAA's best in free throw percentage. Just an incredibly pure shooter. 6 to shoot. Harris travels. 8th turnover for the Cardinals.
And Coach Walls electing to go with 3 players that had the 2 fouls to start the half here. They're obviously going to be careful not to pick up a quick third, but he wants them to also be very intense defensively, so it's a little bit of a balance for Louisville.
Trong
going right at Nina. She has 2 fouls. Doesn't want to pick up the quick third.
Don't look now, but it's a 2-possession game. Ricards nails it. Nina Ricards is such a glue element for this Louisville team.
Great job by Nina going right back at Gonzaga there.
A double-double against Alabama, had 10 and 10. The transfer from Florida. There's so many gritty things right. Maxwell. Maybe should have thought about that shot an extra second. Taylor. Lead back to 10. Cindy Taylor's
Nice
been great.
Pass. Trong to Trong there. They know each other well. And there's not an inch of any other space of where she could have placed that pass. Beautiful pass.
Boy, do they. Twin sisters have played a ton of basketball together. They knew that when it came time to pick their college, they wanted to go together. Going a long way from home, all the way in Spokane. 7 to shoot. Taylor with 3. The fadeaway. And there's a shot clock violation.
Outstanding defense by Ejim there. Stay straight up, Crowder space and not foul, forcing a tough shot.
Olivia Cochran is on the floor for Louisville. Very quiet first half for her. Did not score, picked up a couple of fouls.
Yeah, second time this tournament she's been in foul trouble.
Ejim lays it in.
Another great pass by Gonzaga.
Yvonne Ejim certainly capable of making this all-tournament team. 15 points today after 23 yesterday afternoon. Ricards over to Cochran. Lay-in goes. First points of the day for Olivia Cochran. 28 points away from 1,000 on her career. Preseason all-conference pick in the ACC. You can see why. Look at the defense leading to the transition bucket for Cochran.
Yeah, a little too casual there for Gonzaga. You cannot throw a soft pass across the perimeter against Louisville.
Stoppage on the floor.
I'm a little bit surprised Gonzaga's not challenging off the bounce a little bit more here with all the foul trouble. And Louisville putting those players back out on the floor here to start the half. I don't feel like Gonzaga's taking advantage of that. They're settling for the outside jump shot.
Another Louisville player just picked up her second. Sydney Taylor picks up the whistle. Harris with 2 as well, along with Nina Ricards. And Elia Love, of course, with 4. Don't know if we'll see her at all in this second half due to foul trouble. A kick ball, we'll keep it down here. Both teams off to a very hot start to this third period. Both 4 out of 5 on field goals to start. Ejim. This will be Louisville basketball. Coach, they continue to try to feed Yvonne, and Louisville denying her the basketball very well right now.
A lot of attention on her at the moment, and deservingly so.
Cochran and Ricards can't connect. Both teams now in double-digit turnovers. Louisville's led by as many as 12. Stokes. Book it.
When you play against Gonzaga, you cannot relax. They have such an ability to knock down the three-point shot. No lead is too big. You can get back in a game really quick with that three-point shot.
West Coast Conference all-freshman team last year for Stokes. She is such a great wrinkle off this Gonzaga bench. 3 points and 3 rebounds today. Taylor. Ricards boards it, and a whistle on Gonzaga. Looks like Trong just picked up her third. And a timeout on the floor. 4:21 left to play in the third. Still just a 7-point game in the Betty Chancellor Classic. Louisville breaking the huddle with a 7-point lead. Garrett Jones and the former head coach of Minnesota and Texas Tech, Marlene Stallings, here with you. And Coach, big contingency in this game. Caitlin Trong just picked up her third foul. Gonzaga with no other foul trouble really to speak of. Stokes also has 3, but again, they are so predicated by what Trong can do It's tough to see her get into foul trouble here early in the third.
Well, it is, and it's a big loss for Gonzaga.
Cochran can't hit. Monetized with a nice block. They'll have a lot of Kaylee Trong leading the offense, the twin sister of Kaylee. Maxwell never hesitates. It's just a 4-point game.
That's her third shot this quarter from that corner. Definitely something Gonzaga has seen and scouted to where they want to get her the ball down there. She's 2 of 3 from the corner this quarter.
She's starting to warm up. So is Gonzaga. They've hit 3 of their last 3 from the field. They've got Cochran. Can't can the mid-range jumper. And Gonzaga can cut the deficit down to 1 possession. They look to Maxwell. Eight to shoot. Trong. Almost there. And the whistle called as Harris picks up the loose ball.
You know, something I've noticed here in the third is Gonzaga is getting a few more comfortable shots that they did not get in the first half because of Louisville's defensive intensity. But I think with all the foul trouble, Louisville's a little bit hesitant to get up and be as physical, and therefore Gonzaga is getting some more comfortable looks at the basket in this third quarter.
Cardinals have not scored in their last 2 minutes and 55 seconds. By as many as a dozen today. Elia Love back in with 4 fouls. Ball finds her on the wing. Taylor can't connect. Cochran going after the ball, draws the foul on Gonzaga. Monetized picks up her first. Number 3 on Gonzaga in the quarter. Cochran. Olivia just 4 points off 2 of 4 shooting. Very limited in the first half due to a couple of fouls. Egypt. Trong.
It's unfortunate Gonzaga had to mismatch down low on the switch. Cochran switched out on the guard.
Oh my, what a delivery there from Sydney Taylor to Cochran.
First points in almost 4 minutes for Louisville. Great rim run by Cochran. Awesome job finding her at the basket.
That was a sweet bounce pass. Took the Cardinals a while to find the bottom of the bucket there. Big momentum.
After being red hot in the first half, they've been a little cold here coming out from the half.
Stokes swatted away, and Cochran.
It's going to be her third.
That's going to be so big down the stretch in this game. Talked about it on Friday. Cochran had 4 fouls. See the frustration as she pops up off the floor. Shot clock is down to 4 as well. Our officials heading over to the scores table look like they'll take a second look. Scott Yarborough, Ashley Gloss, Courtney Robinson, our crew. They are headed over to the monitor to take a second look. If you're Coach Wald's in the Louisville huddle right now, what's the message to your team trying to up the energy?
Well, they had such great energy again coming out in that first half, and I think some of those young women with foul trouble have really been hesitant. And I think that, you know, it's tough. It's a fine line to play with fouls and still be intense, but I think that's what they're missing right here. And also, the shots aren't falling for Louisville as they were the first half, but that's okay. Go get a second shot, you know, keep working. But I think their defensive intensity's got to step up a little bit more here in the third quarter.
Talked all about the foul trouble today for Louisville, but they've had a really balanced effort offensively Istanbulolu has yet to score, but Kiki Jefferson with 12, Nina Ricards with 10, and Sydney Taylor with 8. This is what they're looking at. Callie Stokes on the drive. Went right at Olivia Cochran. I want to make sure they get this call right late in the third. Very veteran crew. A lot of big games in this area of the country. They're going to let Ashley Gloss and Courtney Robinson, look at that replay one more time where they make their decision. Merrill Center in Katy, Texas hosts Southland Conference tournaments throughout the years. Several Katy ISD high school graduations. And Coach, this is such a big game for both of these schools today because they both have a real gauntlet coming up, especially Louisville with the challenge in the SEC upcoming.
Yes, after here, and we can talk a little more about it later, but they're going to go to Ole Miss on the road. They play at Ole Miss as quickly as Wednesday. Ole Miss ranked number 24 in the country, 8-1. Their only loss coming to Oklahoma. Unfortunately, they just lose KK Deans, their point guard, out for the season. That's a pretty devastating loss for Ole Miss, but Coach Yo, I know, will have her team pumped and ready and someone else ready to step up and help Ole Miss out. But that's going to be a tough test for Louisville on the road right after this tournament.
They're making sure there's nothing extra on that call, and even after taking a couple looks, a little more deliberation for our officials.
When you look at,
what do you think about that last play, Coach?
I'm not quite sure what we're deliberating at this point. I thought they were looking at maybe who the ball went out on. I don't think it's a flagrant foul or by any means.
Yeah, it was Stokes going right at Olivia Cochran. Got one more look.
Look at it. Yeah, I mean that's just live play going for the ball. I really don't see anything intentional there.
There's been a nice flow to this game ever since a choppy first quarter, but this is our longest stoppage of the day.
Yeah, so when we talk about Louisville going to Ole Miss and Gonzaga, after they leave the tournament, they've got Stanford, Cal, and Arizona State coming up.
So referees explaining the initial foul on Olivia Cochran of Louisville and then an intentional foul on Callie Stokes. So that was the swinging point there that they needed to straight out. So Stokes will shoot a couple free throws, and then Louisville will have the option to shoot a couple free throws as well, and then they'll get the ball out of the timeout.
And that's why I'm not an official, Garrett. I just thought that was live play. I don't know how you really that was a tough one for me.
It's funny you talked to Van Chancellor, and we got the privilege to chat with him during halftime if you weren't with us. He always says, I could play, I could coach, I could never officiate. Even though he's been around the game for so many decades, he always gives these referees a lot of props for what they do. It's such a difficult job filled with scrutiny.
It really is. It's unforgiving and a tough field certainly to be in. A lot of things are discretionary.
Lisa 48, the head coach for Gonzaga, getting an explanation.
I really like them to get this going here. This delay is getting pretty lengthy here. I think we got to get this moving.
Yeah, it has to be frustrating when you're on the sidelines. As you know, you certainly ran into late game delays, especially in your coaching career.
Well, no doubt. And the officials want to get it right, but they've made a decision. Let's move on now.
Stokes awaiting the technical free throws. Stokes off the back iron. Redondo Beach, California native. After all that, it's a tough way to come back into it and try to shoot a technical free throw after a long delay.
Yeah, kind of icing the shooters here.
Wow, 0 for 2. And now Louisville will have a chance to respond. Prior to those misses, both teams have been really good at the line. Gonzaga 13 of 16 today. That includes the 2 misses. Louisville 2 out of 3. Jefferson gets a friendly roll. Opportunity to make it an 8-point game for the Cardinals. Ranked in the top 20 for the 3rd straight season. It's been an up and down ride for Jeff Walz and his team today, but they've done enough to build an advantage. Final 90 seconds of this 3rd quarter. Russell. Ejim grabs the board. Foul there on Henny Van Schaik. In addition, they're excited about the junior transfer from Cal State Bakersfield. Many new additions on this roster. Last year, a great season for the Cardinals. They took down number 12 Drake, number 4 Texas, and number 8 Ole Miss. Right, falling to the number 2 seed, and Caitlin Clark led Iowa in the NCAA tournament last year.
Yes, another big run for Coach Walz. Again, the only program to go to 5 straight Elite Eights.
Maxwell takes the bump. Sydney Taylor on the other side of that.
I think what made last year so impressive, not one of his most high-profile teams, and he's still able to make it to an Elite Eight. Just credit to him and his staff for player development and understanding how to get his teams to play their best basketball late in the season going into March.
Jim facing up. Got it in the foul. Yvonne Ejim with the chance at a 3-point play.
Well, you've heard me all weekend talk about her. I really like this. I really like Ejim and her ability. She's so dynamic, super quick. She plays the power forward position for them, and her versatility is just off the charts.
Olivia Cochran back into the game with 3 fouls.
It's a lot of trust Coach Walz is putting on Cochran here. Under a minute to go in the quarter with 3 fouls. If I'm Gonzaga, I want to go right at her next time down the floor.
Just a 5-point game. Curry, charge. Gonzaga outscoring Louisville 19-12 in this 3rd.
Watch practice for Louisville on Thanksgiving Day, and Coach Walz spent a lot of time on catching the ball there, turning, pivoting, squaring up so you don't run over the defender.
Shot clock and game clock about 15 seconds apart. Boy, Maxwell just so good. The second she gets that ball, she wants to put it up.
Deadly scorer for the Zags.
The Bulldogs faithful erupting. It's just a 1-possession game, a 12-4 run for Gonzaga. Louisville will hold for the last shot of the quarter. Curry. Russell. Can't beat the buzzer. And that will take us to the 4th quarter. No reason to go anywhere. Just a 3-point spread and a battle of 2 heavyweights.
Buckle up.
We'll be with you in a 3-point game in the Merrill Center. The Betty Chancellor Classic is brought to you by the Intruders Softball Organization, working to provide a great softball environment for girls all over the Houston area. And by Mission Constructors, a Houston-based corporation providing construction management, design, and construction services throughout the state of Texas. Well, there's a look at what's on the line between these two. If Gonzaga wins outright, they will take that trophy home. Louisville needs to win by 8 for one of the tiebreakers to take home the title. Both teams would finish in 2-1 in that situation. I don't think either one of them are thinking too much about that. They just want to win this ball game today. Keith Jefferson trying to help Louisville get back in control. Cards have led by as many as a dozen. Ricards with a big jumper.
Great way to start the quarter for Louisville. Patient possession, got the ball moving. Nina gets a shot right in rhythm. Just what the Cardinal needed.
Haley Trong is back into the game. Kaylin has 4 fouls. She's playing for Gonzaga to start this fourth. The Bulldogs draw the whistle on this end of the floor. Marissa Russell picks up her first foul. If you're just tuning in, it was a rough start to the game for the Cardinals. They had 3 players pick up 2 fouls in the first quarter of this game. Ricard steals it away. Louisville by 7.
Well, we're seeing the momentum shift. Gonzaga certainly had the momentum there in the third quarter, and we're seeing it shift back here to Louisville to start the fourth.
Zags outscored Louisville 20-12 in that third period. Another giveaway.
Louisville making it really hard for Gonzaga to run their offense there on that possession. Again, playing to their identity. Great job by Louisville, forcing another turnover.
Jefferson tripped up, preventing a fast break. Maxwell took her down. Both teams with a pristine shooting effort, as you see on your screen. Jada Curry. Not on the same page with Ricards. Louisville can't do that down the stretch. This is a Gonzaga team that will not go down quietly. You have to put your foot on their throats. I'm going to bring them down for just the second time this season.
And such a dangerous team because of the three-point threat that they possess.
Wow, a great effort there to stick with it for Eliza Hollingsworth, who was so big on Friday with a career-high 22.
Gonzaga, 5 players averaging double figures. They have any number of players that can step up big on any given night.
Curry lost the handle.
Coach Walls is going to talk to Curry here a little bit. She's over-dribbling a little bit to start this quarter. He wants her to move the ball.
Got our first stoppage of the fourth. Back with you momentarily. Here we are in the Merrill Center with a slate of great games. Game number 3 next up will be 2 teams that have not won in this tournament, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Clemson. Maybe the game of the night for you, women's college basketball, as Tulsa takes on Mississippi State. The winner of that wins the Van Chancellor portion of the bracket. The Chancellor Classic. Winner of this game could take home the Betty Chancellor Classic. Gonzaga with the win takes it outright. Louisville needs to increase its cushion to take home that trophy. Jefferson lays it in and the lead back to 7.
Nice after timeout bucket by Jefferson. Again, she's looked as comfortable today as I've seen her so far this year. Coach Walls drew that up, isolated her on a one-on-one drive to the basket.
Russell fouled on the break. Gonzaga doing everything it can to stop fast break opportunities. Marissa Russell has been really good on the defensive side of the ball. Louisville with 7 steals to Gonzaga's 1 today. Kiki Jefferson, the transfer from James Madison. Ricards. Splash.
That's her sweet spot. She loves that 10, 15-foot jumper. left wide open there, knocks it down.
Haley Trong playing back near where she played her high school basketball. Ejim finds a lane and draws the foul.
Oh, they're calling out on Cochran. That's going to be number 4.
Wow. Olivia Cochran, 4 fouls on Friday. Becomes the second Cardinals player to pick up a 4th today. Cochran, a very emotive player. We've seen her several times this weekend trying to lobby her position.
Yeah, I thought that was on Russell. Russell kind of trying to take up for Cochran there, saying, it was me, as they call it on Cochran.
Certainly a lot of time left in this game, but just think a situation like that kind of cracks the door open for Gonzaga to possibly take hold of this game again.
And Coach Walls is going to leave her in there.
Do you like that decision?
I always side with the coach. They know their player best, and they know who they can trust in those moments. She is a veteran player for him. She played in 2 Elite Eights and 1 Final Four, so he's going to trust her right here.
Yeah, Cochran was so big in that Elite Eight against Iowa. Hawkeyes getting to the national championship game, ultimately fell to LSU, led by Caitlin Clark. But Olivia Cochran gave the Hawkeyes everything they could handle. She had 20 and 14.
Yeah, both career highs for her.
Jefferson steps outside. Connects.
Nice. Boy, she's grown up right in front of our eyes today. Coach Walls has got to love it. She's looking really comfortable out there.
19 points for Kiki Jefferson, part of the Cheryl Miller Award watch list preseason. Cochran pried it away. Ejim keeps it going. Hollingsworth, wow, missed the rim on the layup attempt. Maxwell, foul.
Oh, no.
So we get one more look at the big 3 from Jefferson on the other end.
And that's what she's known for doing, putting the ball in the basket again. Led the conference in scoring last year at James Madison.
Maxwell has started to heat up in this second half. Now at 12 points as Coach Lisa Fortier looks on. Her group trying to avoid its second loss of the season. In-state recruit coming back home after going out of state to start her career in Utah. Well, by 8. Curry grows the lead back to 10.
I really like that by Curry. Gonzaga's relaxed there after the free throw, not paying attention. She recognizes it, takes it coast to coast. Great heads-up play by Curry.
Trong to Ejim. Haley Trong can't answer. It's been a tough day for those sisters. Haley 3 out of 9 from the field, 0 of 5 from outside. Haley Trong on the bench with 4 fouls. Louisville has led by as many as 12. Russell. 4 to shoot. Oh, the pretty lay-in.
Good decision by Russell. Everybody else was heavily defended. She reads the lane to the basket.
Haley Trong, you see her numbers. It's been a tough day at the office.
Oh, Cochran's got to be careful. I think she just picked up her 5th, unless they call that on Ejim.
Looks like Olivia Cochran is fouled out of the game.
Yeah, if you're Coach Walls, you don't like that. I mean, she's 15 feet from the basket. She gets tangled up with Ejim there. It's just an unnecessary foul. When you've got 4, you've got to lay off right there. Let a little bit of that go. But Ejim's a tough matchup with her, for her, especially being in foul trouble.
Her day ends with 6 points and 1 rebound. Kind of a tough tournament for her, Coach, but she will certainly learn and grow from this experience.
Always teachable moments. I know she's a little frustrated. 2 of the 3 games she's been in foul trouble and fouls out of this one.
The swipe from Jefferson. Another lay-in. Marissa Russell again. Largest lead of the day for Louisville. exhausted.
And what you're seeing here is Louisville wears on you. That intense pressure over a 40-minute period really starts wearing on you. We're in the 36th minute here.
Curry connects. 17-point lead for the Cardinals.
Louisville defense wearing Gonzaga down a bit here late.
Coach Walsh fired up. 48 taking a timeout. A big-time triple for Louisville. Jada Curry enters the stat sheet. Come back with us for the finish. A 9-0 run for Louisville. Cardinals by 17. The best they've looked in this entire tournament. Derek Jones, the former head coach at VCU and Winthrop. Marlene Stallings here with you. What a finish for the Cardinals. Outscored by Gonzaga 20-12 in that third. They've responded extremely well here in the fourth.
And in particular,
with 4 fouls playing. Sorry to cut you off.
That's okay. In particular, Curry. You know, Coach Walls really got into her there in the first half. And what has she done? Nothing but respond. And you've got to love that as a coach. Truly shows how much of a competitor she is.
Stokes can't connect. This is Russell grabbing a board. She's been great for Louisville today. 9 points and 3 big rebounds. Jefferson travels. And you see the message clearly from Coach Walls saying, just slow it down. We've got a big lead. Almost 4 minutes left to play. Just take your foot off the gas a little bit. Might not matter, though, because as you see on your screen, Gonzaga has gone cold.
Credit to Louisville's defense. They're not getting comfortable shots. Gonzaga's a team that likes comfortable shots in rhythm, in flow. This game's been a little bit choppy. They've had someone in their space most of the game. It really changes their ability to put the ball in the basket when that happens.
Stokes can't hit. Shots just not falling for Gonzaga that fell through the first 2 days of this classic.
Yeah, you see in the first 2 games with Gonzaga, they were really in rhythm right from the jump, and Louisville has not allowed them to be in rhythm much at all this afternoon.
Jada Curry from the point, guarded by Trong. Just 5 to shoot. Steal from Stokes. Here come the Zags. Trying not to go out with a whimper before they make a long flight back to Spokane. Ran away from Liberty. A nice win over Alabama yesterday. Haley Trong. Ring it up. That's 10 points for her. 5 minutes and 27 seconds between shots fall for Gonzaga. We have a timeout on the floor.
Gonzaga has 3 players on the Becky Hammond mid-major preseason Player of the Year watch list. The only program in the country to ever have 3 players listed on that list prior to the season. Ejim, Maxwell, and Trong. I think the committee's going to, if it comes down to those 3, have a tough decision to make at the end of the year.
Taking a look at the schedule for the rest of the day. Approximately 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one, we'll have Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Clemson coming your way. And the nightcap is a game that we're really excited about. Iowa and Kansas State are rematching tonight. But really, other than that game, Tulsa and Mississippi State, the most intriguing matchup in women's college basketball tonight. State undefeated at 7-0. Tulsa's had a great tournament. 2 really tough wins, including their first over a Power 5 school in over 10 years, taking out Clemson last night.
Yeah, they're really coming into that game on a high. 2 big wins in the tournament. Mississippi State in the top 25 coming into the tournament. Coach Purcell will try to keep the Bulldogs undefeated.
Louisville trying to run the clock, or at least start to. They're looking to get to 6-1. Trying to avenge a loss last year in the Bahamas to Gonzaga. Curry. Rainbow wouldn't have fallen. Bulldogs trying to push.
Well, they've got to move with some urgency here. They can't take this long to get a shot up. Taking way too long here.
Caitlin Trong. Each of the twin sisters has been held to just 10 points today.
Again, credit to Louisville. They're not giving them anything easy.
Ejim has made it look pretty easy. That's her 22nd and 23rd points off of 8 of 10 shooting.
But Louisville, great job there of making them eat up a lot of the clock. That pretty much sealed the game.
13-point spread.
Again, Louisville leaves here, heads to play in Oxford, Mississippi on Wednesday night. Another tough matchup. ACC-SEC challenge game. Ole Miss 8-1 on the year. Their only loss coming to Oklahoma. They did just lose their point guard KK Deans recently, out for the year, unfortunately. But another tough test for the Louisville Cardinal very quickly after this tournament.
Foul comes on Louisville. You mentioned for Gonzaga, they have a really tough schedule as well. They'll play several Pac-12 schools. Stanford will be an extremely tough matchup for them, but they also play Arizona State and Cal. That's a rebuilding Sun Devil program. California off to an undefeated start this week. They could get those two games. They could really beat Stanford too. I mean, when they're at their best. They showed us in this tournament how good they can be.
Well, what makes them so dangerous is that they can score from so many different positions and so many different players can score for them. So they become hard to guard. And I think Louisville's done as well as anybody this year of really getting up in their space, crowding them. You have to be physical. You have to be in their space to have success against them. And if you're not, they're going to make you pay. They're just such an experienced team, a poised team. They read well. Definitely have a chance there against 3 Pac-12 opponents upcoming here to really compete well and possibly get wins.
Trong got the steal and shoveled it to her sister, and she was able to draw the foul. There'll be free throws coming. Louisville very frustrated on its sideline.
Well, if you're Coach Walls in Louisville, you certainly don't want to stop the clock here. That's what he's telling his team, continuing to teach.
Lynn Trong, a great weekend. Really, the Trong sisters lived up to the hype this weekend in front of their family and friends. They played at Jersey Village High School. Talked with their head coach in high school. Now at Cinco Ranch right here in Katy, Deborah Collier. She coached 48. Really won a jackpot getting these two sisters on the roster. Her high school coach had a lot of praise, said they're even better people than they are athletes. And then cut the lead down to 9. Fight from Maxwell and the Bulldogs. Russell has to keep the dribble. Final minute of the Betty Chancellor Classic. Louisville trying to hold on and take the title. And Kaylee Trong will give the foul. Her coach in high school, Coach Collier, as we mentioned, just had a ton of praise, especially for how they were raised. You see a good shot of both of them. She said her parents did a great job of saying, yes, you can emphasize academics, but if you're going to be in athletics, be great. Really help them be superstar students, and obviously great enough to get scholarships to go well out of state. They stuck together and really have a bright future the rest of the season. Gonzaga certainly will be in the mix in the West Coast Conference again, trying to win its 15th title in 16 years. As Jefferson takes the foul. And for Louisville on the other side, Coach Stallings, I think they proved to themselves this weekend that they are very much in the mix in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Oh, without question, no doubt. Coach Walls does it year in and year out. This year will be no different. They have a lot of great pieces. Again, they're just still learning each other. They're gelling. Even in this tournament, I've seen a lot of growth. Look at someone like Kiki, who's really at the line here. Kiki Jefferson has really grown up in front of our eyes here in the last 3 days. But he's going to be pleased with a lot of things from this tournament, and certainly a lot of teachable moments that he'll take back. But that's what he does. He brings his teams along, and they're going to be very competitive in the ACC as usual.
Jefferson makes it a 10-point game. Who are some of their biggest competitors as you look at that league from a bird's eye view?
Well, I think you have Notre Dame's very good this year.
Always have Duke and North Carolina. The Tar Heels loaded up on transfers.
I was seeing what the official was doing there. But yes, I mean, it's just top to bottom. I mean, Notre Dame's a team that comes to my mind early. Duke is playing really well early in the season here. North Carolina, the list goes on in that league. NC State, I mean, there's not a night off, no different than the SEC. Night in and night out, you're going to be challenged.
An offensive foul, and that's just kind of a microcosm of how this game has gone for Gonzaga. They've had chances, but just unable to get over the hump here late.
Yeah, a couple of teachable moments, I think, for Coach Fortier in the last minute and a half or so of this game. Clock management. Took way too long there on one offensive possession, and then took quite a while to foul there after hitting that big shot. So I'm sure she'll take that back and use it as teachable moments for her veteran squad.
Louisville can dribble it out. It did not come easy, but the Cardinals will walk away with another trophy in their program's historic record. The buzzer will sound, and Louisville has won the Betty Chancellor Classic. Coach, your final thoughts on a great weekend for the Cardinals?
Well, I like their bounce back. I really like their bounce back. You know, they got upset by Alabama, bounced back yesterday against a feisty Liberty squad, and then today we saw Louisville playing to their identity defensively right from the tip.
Congratulations
They've
to
got to
Jeff
feel
Walsh.
good about this, going back to Louisville and getting ready to go play a tough Ole Miss team on Wednesday.
No doubt. Well, we really enjoyed bringing it to you. For my broadcast partner, Marlene Stallings, and our entire awesome guys in the truck, I'm Garrett Jones. Congratulations to the Cardinals. We'll see you for another game between Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Clemson in the Van Chancellor Classic. Thanks so much for watching.